I could be whoever I want. Yep. Well, shit, let me get a motherfucking,
Nigga square, see a nigga run, then I'm running cause niggas scared, niggas bad cause niggas swear to air this bitch out cause niggas dare to test the power of the mechanic that'll leave his head folded like a laundromat. Bitch, I got all kinds of raps, one's a smoker, one's like scissor surgeon cause I body tracks, a nip tuck exercise, squat cut, tenderize like that.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This is a Talk NOLA. Today we are joined by Mac Infinity.
How y'all doing, everybody?
Mac, good to see you, man. Welcome into the studio.
Man, it feels good to be here, man. Super excited.
Really happy to have you on.
Yeah.
So, off first glance, this is my first time meeting you, of course. We were talking a little bit in the elevator about your jersey that you got on. Speak on it like it's obviously customized.
Yeah, man. This is actually part of rollout for my previous project, Cumulus. I like how it looks, so I was like, I'm throwing some of my merch today.
So with Cumulus, all right. It was kind of funny, but there was a song called "Fuck You, Dion."
Yeah.
So tell me about the inspiration. Was that like an actual voice message that someone left you?
That was during the pandemic. I had to take a semester at home. I went to Dillard, by the way.
Yeah.
I graduated from Dillard.
Oh, I know.
I
know you went to Dillard. I did my research.
3 years ago. 3 years ago,
That's
I graduated. But that voice message was from my friend Rodney. He was talking about like this guy he thought was me that was on campus, and he was mad that it wasn't me. Because I had to take a semester back home because of COVID. But yeah, I was like, shit, I'm gonna throw that as an intro to that project.
So Dillard University. You were all right. So you're from Kansas City.
Yes.
How'd you make your way down to New Orleans?
So I used to visit a lot with my parents when I was little. They love New Orleans. And at first when I was little, I didn't really get the appeal. I was like, it always seems like it's a party or something going on here.
How little are you speaking? Like teenager?
I was like
eight. Oh
Eight.
yeah, definitely not a teenager.
Yeah. I was a kid. And they used to visit down here frequently, and I would go down here frequently with them. And like this wasn't like my first choice of places to go after high school. But I ended up touring at Dillard. I had a good tour at Dillard, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Dillard. And after graduation, I wasn't ready to leave and go back home, so I'm still here. Yeah.
So overall, you've been enjoying the New Orleans experience.
Yeah, but there's no other place like New Orleans. I try to tell that to people, when they ask me what New Orleans is like, and I'm like, hey, you gotta come see for yourself.
Were you on an esports team by chance at Dillard?
I was not on the
You were
esports
not?
team. I like playing video games.
Okay.
I was not on the esports team. I think they just made it like when I was graduating, but I definitely would have been on the team. Definitely would have been on the esports team.
That's cool.
So,
Dillard is a historical black college, correct?
Yes, it is a HBCU.
Okay, HBCU. Interesting. So when we're talking on Kansas and New Orleans, what are some of the primary differences? I would say some of the more cultural differences that you immediately grasped.
Bruh, it's so many. Just cultural differences and
Right.
nuances between the two places. Food, weather. It's different in every way, but it does have some similarities. We do have a small black community in Kansas City. I would say that we, just being a black American, we have our roots in the South. I do have family from Shreveport. I don't know them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But, if you're black in America, you have roots in the South. You're going to have some family that migrated from here at least. But it's different in every way. And I don't know if there is a place to compare New Orleans to, at least in America. I know a lot of people I know that visited, like the Caribbean, like the Dominican Republic, Jamaica. They talk about the similarities between there and New Orleans, but in terms of Kansas City, it couldn't be any more different.
You were doing music in Kansas City, or did
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yes.
So speak on your journey and how it began in Kansas City.
Yeah, so I was a nerd in school. I mean that in every capacity of the word. Like I did debate and speech.
You were like really good in class and everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was a schoolboy.
all around dude. Okay.
But my mom was an English teacher, and I think from there, through my love of literature, I got really into poetry and writing. And if you think about like rap, it's very similar to speech making, and writing and literature, just rhyming, it's on beat. And I've always had the lyrics, but I would say, probably from my senior year of high school till now, that's when I got the flow and song making and stuff down.
When did the ideas start formulating for you that you wanted to become an artist?
I would say about 7th grade, 8th grade. That's when I started rapping. I did this science project with my friend. We made like a rap for the project. I had so much
Science
fun.
and rap.
Yeah, like
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I had so much fun recording the song, and I was like, man, like I don't want this to stop. So
what was it about?
Physical and chemical change.
Do you remember any of those, any verses or any lines?
I think I was like, I got a bunch of good grades, all of them are A's, but I got to learn about physical and chemical change.
That's not bad. That's not bad. You were what, like 13? 12 maybe?
12,
Damn,
13.
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but.
God, you still talk to any of those people back from Kansas?
Yeah, man.
Is it Kansas City that you're directly from, or?
So there's 2 Kansas cities, right?
Okay.
So it's like a metropolitan area that's split between 2 different states.
Gotcha.
So there's a Kansas City, Kansas, and a Kansas City, Missouri. The larger side is Missouri. It's the more urban area. And Kansas, it has its urban areas, but farther out west towards the capital, which is Topeka, is a little more country. I am from the Kansas side.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is Wyandotte County.
Wyandotte County?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm from the smaller side. So the New Orleans equivalent would be like West Bank, East Bank.
Gotcha.
I would be from the smaller side, West Bank. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So,
I'm by the West. I'm like I travel to the West Bank and the East Bank, so I completely understand the analogy. It reminds me of Michigan.
What part of Michigan are you from?
No, I'm not from Michigan. I'm actually from Miami. But,
oh, dope.
Yeah, in Michigan, it's separated. Michigan is humongous, and there's parts bordering Canada. But in Michigan, there's one part called the Yooper, I believe, and the other part is, I don't know what the other one is called, but you separate the northern and then the most southern by 2 different names.
Right, because it's separated because the Great Lake.
Yes,
is right
exactly,
there.
exactly.
Right.
Damn,
Okay, cool.
That was loud. Bro, I just peaked the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But going back to get some folks that you still talk to.
Chief the Don, he's featured on Aggressive Ass Beat. I've known him since I was in 2nd grade. We started our music journey together, so we talk all the time, hang out all the time. He comes down here to visit. I'll go up there to come see him every now and then. My friend JoJo Ali, he's not on the project, but he's somebody else who I grew up rapping with. I've known him since 2nd grade. Yeah, I mean, part of, Forever Worry making that project was merging, some people sound from Kansas City with New Orleans sound. Kai Colors is from Kansas City. I didn't grow up with him, but he's from Kansas City, Southside Dame.
Was that a coincidence?
What do you mean? Like
that he was from you said Kansas or Kansas City?
Kansas City. So
okay.
So Kai Colors is from the other side of town.
Yeah, gotcha.
So is Southside Dame. But it was intentional for me to reach out to them to work on my latest project.
Your latest project, help me pronounce it. Is it Forever Worry?
Forever Worry.
Forever
Yes.
Worry. Okay, it's pretty cool. The project feels big, not just in sound, but in intent as well, as what I noticed. What was the vision behind it? Because it's also called Forever Worry, Volume 1.
Yeah. So I want it to be like a series that I do maybe bi-yearly, to where I do a lot of the production. And I just bring a bunch of artists together that would normally not work together.
A lot of collabs on this album as well.
Yeah. So I want to bring a lot of artists together that normally wouldn't work together. And the theme for this one was to bring, my native Kansas City to New Orleans and vice versa. But you know, I'm open to it being a bunch of different artists from a bunch of different places next time. But yeah, that was the theme. You know, just to get people to understand that, you know, we're stronger together always than we are separate.
It seems like there's a lot of strong wording for the song titles themselves. You have "Wash My Sins," aggressive ass beat, you know, Black Privilege. So is there a message behind the album or some of these songs?
Yeah, so you know, with me being a filmmaker, I like to think very visual about, you know, my songs, what I'm writing, when I'm naming the songs. So, you know, in terms of visuals, I can't talk too much about them right now until they come out.
Okay.
But
That's fair.
yeah, so just having these strong themes, I felt like it helped, you know, the artists that featured on the project be dynamic in what they talked about and just help them visualize and conceptualize just their own lyrics. So I tried to pair the artists with production styles that, you know, sort of pushed them, but also met them where they were. So
did that make you picky when selecting artists to collaborate with?
It did and didn't. Shit, I just didn't want anybody whack on it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It did make me picky, though. I did have some songs that didn't make it. It wasn't because the songs were bad, but I wanted it still to be cohesive at the same time. But I think every artist that I had on here is super fire. You know, they did what they were supposed to do on the album, but also like their individual stuff. Like I'm a fan of their work too.
They fit the songs. I felt very well. The standout song for me was, where is it? It was Black Privilege, and that's what we opened up the episode with. But I mean, just the flow of it, but also the connections. You know, the collaborations, particularly with young Senju. It's Senju.
Yeah.
All right. How did that introduction come about? How did you guys meet?
Yeah, so last year, was it last year? Might have been 2 years ago now. We performed on the same bill for a show. I went right before him. He went after me.
Was that with Evie Soto by chance?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It was with the Gentili agency. You ever heard of them?
No.
They're like a creative agency down here. Yeah, we were on the same bill. He performed. I was like, man, he's fire. So we ended up talking after the show. I got in touch with him. I took a little hiatus to get better at producing, and then I reached out to him when I felt like, you know, I was comfortable enough to get like different artists to rap on my beats. And he was like, yo, this shit is fire, man, you know? So, and
that must also feel motivating for you, because you did take your hiatus. You wanted to improve your skills in production, and now that you presented it to someone like Senju, who's also been in the game for a little while, you know, that must be very motivating, being complimented.
Definitely motivating. You know, not to, because I do feel like approval from other people should be towards the end of your process as a creative. But it's definitely motivating. It's definitely empowering to, you know, hear somebody that, you know, you're a fan of, that you like, just say like, hey, you know, I fuck with what you got going on. So,
were you guys both in the studio at the same time?
No, we weren't. So, I sent it to him as an open, and he said, yo, I'm gonna get this back to you ASAP. He got it back to me. He sent it to me mixed too. Shout out to you, because I do record, like I have a home studio set up, but you know, engineering is a completely different beast, bruh. So I have a engineer that I know in LA that I send my stuff to, and we have like virtual mixing sessions, and he mixes my stuff online. So I didn't have to get his stuff mixed because it was clean already, and I just threw it on there. So
that's awesome. Do you make your way out to LA often, or you just know people from out there?
I've been there a few times. I went recently. I made you know the BBL Drizzy thing. I made a little stupid ass challenge verse to that. It went viral, and a studio out there invited me to come out there to record. So I went out there last summer. I stayed with my friend who had an internship and stuff out there. Was staying with someone, and then I went to the studio there and made that connection. So I love LA though.
I hadn't heard of the video though, of the PBL jersey.
It's on my TikTok. It's on my Instagram.
Here, let's see if I can
if
pull
you
it up
wanna-
right
if you
now.
wanna pull
Yeah,
it
we're
up.
gonna pull it up right now, actually, because this is connected to the mixer. Mac Infinity. Were you always Mac Infinity?
Yes, I have been.
Solid name.
I was a big ASAP Rocky fan when I first started rapping in 7th grade, so I went by ASAP Mac for like a week or two, and then I switched it over to Mac Infinity.
Was it with the $sign as well?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was a big ASAP Rocky fan.
There you go. I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So is this at the studio? Because like I see kind of a production. There's like lights.
No, bro. I was at church with my girlfriend, and then my friends that go to Tulane, they blew up my phone. I'm like, bro, there's this challenge that's blowing up on Twitter. This BBO Drizzy challenge. I'm like, bro, you need to lay down a verse. I'm like, bro, this shit is corny, bro. Like, this is lame. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I did it right there on the spot. And then he's like, yo, you need to shoot a visual. Nobody's shooting a visual to it. So they shot a video and stuff right there, and then we got to upload it, and then it went viral. So,
I mean, to add to that, you seem like someone who's always blending different creative mediums, you know? So how do you see your music fitting into your larger vision as a storyteller? Because you did allude that you were a filmmaker and you do see things differently. Do you feel like that made it possible for you to blow up on this challenge as well?
Yes. I think it helps a lot, you know, because that's, you know, like your site is something a lot of people have. You know, a lot of people, especially if you present it a certain way and the video is high quality, I think it helps you stand out as an artist. I always like having help when I shoot, but sometimes I'm like, hey, I want to get something done right here and now. So I try. It forces me to be more creative when I have to shoot things by myself. So,
Do you prefer that?
Prefer is a strong word. I like to do things by myself, and I think this is why this project was important to me, because it pushed me out my comfort zone to work with other people. But in terms of shooting, I always like having help. I prefer to have help like with doing what's in my head, if that makes sense, you know. Maybe not in terms of the ideation process, because sometimes I'm like, I get like overwhelmed if there's too many like chefs in the kitchen like coming up with different ideas.
I know what you mean.
But I like having help when I'm shooting and making things.
Do you like the help when it's to your vision, or do you like when other creative input is processed? What's your give me some insight.
Yeah, so just going to film school, we're always taught you gotta assemble a crew, get different people to do different things, and that's when I think things work the best, when everyone has like a role and does different things and specializes in that thing for that date. It doesn't mean that they're pigeonholed to that all the time, but I like having people have different jobs when I'm working on something, and I don't mind being in a different role when it's someone else's idea that's coming to life too. And I think when you're able to rotate in these different spots, I think it helps you become a better creative, a better artist overall, because you're able to understand different people's jobs and to your benefit, and to just understand people's plight more, Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah. I mean, what was your favorite track from this project?
My favorite track, I love the intro. I really like the intro. That's not the first song that I made for the project. I know some artists work in chronological order when they make an album. The oldest song on there is "Oops."
Oops, yeah, and that's one of the last songs, second to last song.
Yeah, so that's probably
you open with Headache Smith. And you're ending with Looking Ahead.
Yeah, so Oops is the oldest song on there. The intro, I think, is somewhere... It's newer, but it's not the newest. I think the newest is the outro in terms of, like, recording and making the beat and everything overall. Because sometimes I made the beat first, put it away. I recorded something or wrote something and then switched the beat. It's just so many different.
Did you produce every beat on this album?
11 out of 13 of the tracks.
Which ones were not you?
Oops and Yella. Not
Okay.
me.
Wow, man.
But everything else is me.
How long has this been in the works? Oh, let me phrase it this way.
Uh-huh.
What's the time difference between the oldest song that you had written to the newest song?
3 years? Yeah. 2.5, 3 years. Oops is about 3 years old. I made that shortly after I graduated from school. I performed at this cultural arts center. I met Indies Blue and her mom. Shout out to her mom. She's her manager too. She's a really talented singer. And they were like, "Oh, your set was so good. You should work with my daughter." We made that song together shortly after that performance. And then looking ahead, that was definitely the hardest song to construct because it's 4 different people. But yeah, that's the gap, about 3 years.
From the first song, the 3-year-old song, how is it very sonically different than what you had in mind to the current?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of mixing, this is a funny story too. This connects me to a data mishap that I had like in the midst of like making some of these songs. I had a hard drive that broke on me.
That's the worst.
Dog, the worst.
How much did you lose?
So,
Was it a whole session?
bro, nah. I lost like 3 or 4 years of music.
You're
Bro,
kidding me.
I'm not kidding, bro. Not kidding.
Was it a computer problem or was it?
So, I had a hard drive. It's an old hard drive. I had a bunch of stuff on there. I had some of it backed up like on Google Drive and stuff, but still, obviously I stopped at some point, like backing stuff up. I had a big session at my house. The hard drive fell off like the table. Like it can unplug from the computer sometimes, like your hand get caught on the cord or something. And it like yanked part of like the internal part of the hard drive out. And like we're trying to fix it. Me and my friends are over. Couldn't fix it.
Oh no.
So
dude.
Yeah. So we went to Best Buy. A few days later, they couldn't fix it. They were, we can send it to the data repair center. They should be able to fix it, put it into another hard drive. So at the time, I was in between jobs. I was broke as shit. So they held my shit for ransom for like $500, and I'd already paid them for like $300 to have it initially fixed in the store. And I was like, well, I don't have $500 to give you right now. I was actually just about to start like my job that I had at the time, because that was a year and a half ago. And yeah, I couldn't pay them, so they sent it back to me blank. It wasn't even like I can go to somebody else to get it recovered. They sent me back the hardware blank. So yeah, shout out to Best Buy.
Now you said this was a funny story.
No, it is sad. I didn't mean to.
You gas it up. I thought I was about to be laughing, man.
No,
my heart was breaking over
sorry.
here for you.
It's a coping mechanism, bro. It's a coping mechanism.
I understand. No, that does hit close to home. That's happened numerous times to me, to friends. Were there songs from that drive that were gonna make this album?
So, Oops, Aggressive Ass Beat, and One were songs that were on the hard drive that I had rough exports of. So, Oops, I did a pretty decent job mixing for my skills at the time. So I had my engineer master it, clean it up a little bit. Same with Aggressive Ass Beat. And One, not mixed. I don't know if you could tell. Definitely my friend's like, bro, this song you could have mixed this song better. But I like it stylistically though too. That's why I kept it on the.
Let's see what you're talking about.
All right.
There's a lot of features on the song.
Yeah.
Are these samples or are you guys acting this out?
What in terms of
Like these intros.
no, bro? Like that was. I'm trying to remember. So I actually made this beat on Instagram Live. Like I went live one day, made that beat. Completely sober. We just like I turned on the beat. I just started saying random shit. My friend came behind me and paused. And he was just yelling a bunch of shit and like I didn't have the stems to what we recorded that night because they got lost in a hard drive. So and I didn't mix it at all either. So I had my engineer try to repair it and master it and clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So off first glance for me, I'm not even listening to the music. I'm looking at the name and one. Something tells me you know ball, bro. Something tells me you know ball now.
I know ball, bro.
Because I want to allude to this line of yours that caught my attention. I caught this from you. I'm dunking. You spur out of the way. Dude, that is elite ball knowledge, bro.
I appreciate it, bro.
Who's your top 5 all time? I'd love to hear
ball,
this take.
Bro. Oh, that's tough, bro. I know ball, bro. I played AAU growing up. That's what kept me cool, bro. That's what the only reason I wasn't like a full-fledged nerd
because you played sports.
I played sports. I was really good. I wasn't by any means Kobe, LeBron or anything. I wasn't like a 5-star prospect, but I could play. I could shoot really good. Shit, bro. If we talking pure hoops,
yeah, and it doesn't have to be in order, anyways.
LeBron, MJ, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Fuck, this is where it gets sticky for me because it switches around a lot.
I'm the same.
I want to throw Steph in there just due to his influence. He literally changed the game of basketball.
Completely changed, revolutionized the point guard position.
Revolutionized point guard position. Just changed how basketball is played completely. It's just so many different factors, bro. I'm thinking of 10 different people, bro. Man,
give them all to me.
I like Kareem in there too.
Kareem. And he's still alive too, man. He's still kicking.
He's still kicking, bro. Shout out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man.
Yeah, man.
5. I need like 10, bro.
10. All right, give me your 10.
KD, you got to throw KD in there. Okay. I put Kobe in there. I'm not super.
I know.
Don't kill me.
It's kind of controversial.
It's very controversial.
But after he died, everyone started putting him at number 1, number 2, number 3.
You said it. I didn't say it. You said it.
But you're agreeing with me, though.
I can't confirm.
No, I mean, bro. He was a revolutionary.
He was.
What he was doing, he was like the second coming of Jordan.
He was.
However, what he's known for, what he's still known for, is it was his Mamba mentality.
Right.
Just that grind. Like he was a David Goggins of the NBA.
He was.
So
that's a very good comparison.
Yeah. So I feel like I can't really put him up there in terms. I mean, his 81-point game was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, his skill was undeniable, but it was seen before. Yeah. It had been seen before.
It had been seen. He, in terms of like physical archetype, how he played, he's probably the closest to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. I fully agree with you.
But if I'm looking like the numbers, because to me, I don't personally, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm looking at like how good or bad your teams are with or without you, what you accomplished, how'd you revolutionize, change the game? Yeah. And that can be on and off the court, too.
Yeah.
I think that's important to factor in.
Thing is, towards the end of his career, like when he was retiring, Lakers were booty. Like they were pretty bad.
You can argue he held them hostage, especially financially.
Yeah. I mean, he was just this aging star. Did he win after Shaq?
I mean, he with Paul Gasol.
Yeah, that's right.
And Metta World Peace.
But those were other stars,
well, yeah,
you know?
Right. Trevor Ariza.
Yeah.
They had a deep team. Jordan Farmar. Everybody played their role. Derek Fisher was on that team.
But it was such an era.
Bynum.
It was such an era.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Especially like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. So he's in my top 10. He's just on the lower half of my top 10.
He's like my 8.
Yeah.
He's like my 8.
Yeah.
He used to be it varies. Sometimes, like, my GOAT it varies from LeBron or Kobe, you know. But for the longest time, it was Jordan. But I mean, obviously Jordan. But once LeBron just like he started staying in the league, bro. 22 years in the league, still dominating, 50K
what
points.
You know, we're talking about, you know, you can compare Kobe to Jordan. Who do you compare LeBron to? There's no. People will say Magic Johnson, but even then, like, I'm thinking about just his longevity, his physique.
This might be a hot take, but kind of a little bit of Vince Carter, only because Vince Carter was in the league for a little bit.
Yeah, in terms of longevity, but even we look at production, like, you know, like in Vince Carter's later years, he could be on the court, you know, but LeBron is like, oh, we need him to play or we're going to lose the game.
Look at the Lakers. They were on the winning streak. They just got Luka, and that obvious, bro. But all their starters, their depth chart is like they're only starting the bench because like they're all injured. Austin Reeves was injured. Luka,
and he's healthy, and he's 40 years old.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And his son is playing with him on his team. Dude, it's never going to happen again in the NBA.
I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
No way. But yeah, Tim Duncan is up there, top 10. You got to have Steph up there.
You do.
Of course.
You do.
I mean, deadliest three-point shooter all time.
Yeah.
1,000%. LeBron, obviously. I think LeBron's number one for me. Probably Michael Jordan, number two. But man, we completely
I mean, you brought it up, bro. You said we know ball. You said I know balls, so I do know balls.
I saw and one, and I caught that bar from you. But but hold on. Last thing, Derek Queen's game winner. Was it a travel or not?
This might be a hot take. I mean, it was, I guess, in regards to college ball rules. I don't know if that's a travel in NBA just because they have different like gather step rules.
Yeah.
But if I'm a ref, I don't know if I'm ending the game like that, especially for the degree of difficulty that shot was. He's going the opposite way, took a gather step, 1-2, fading away over somebody off the glass. I don't know if you can call. Are you calling the travel there if you're the ref? Especially in real time too, because we have the privilege of being able to see it far back in slow motion 10 times. Are you gonna be able to call that in real time?
Ref is probably not calling it. I don't think the ref is calling it.
And like, you know, I don't think, you know, I didn't see any Colorado State people complaining about it. That's just hats off. That's a crazy shot.
It does carry to the NBA as well. For example, Giannis just the other day.
He travels every time he touches the ball, bro.
I mean, even not only travel, but he carries as well. And it's just, I mean, he has really long arms, so I can imagine it gets hard.
Distance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But refs are blind, man. Do you think refs are actually paid though? Like not like paid off. I know they're paid, but like you get paid off just for like gamblers.
I think they don't like people the same way we don't like people. You know, I definitely. So
you think it's a personal thing sometimes?
Yeah, they're human, bro. They're not like AI. They're not robots, bro.
That's true.
I think that there's some players they fuck with, and there's some players they don't like. Like they have personal beef.
Have you seen this dude? It's an old video, but this ref. Michael Jordan calls like somebody was like, "Oh, that's a foul," and then he was like, "Oh, I didn't see it, Michael, but I believe you,
bro." Yes, bro.
Trifling,
bro. Disgusting word. Foul. I mean, bro, they
immense glaze.
I think, I think that plays into his, you know, perception,
his aura, bro.
His aura, and just how he's viewed in the GOAT debate and stuff that we were talking about too. Like, bro, they were calling him Black Jesus, bro.
They were calling him Black Jesus.
Black Jesus.
And
is
Kobe
insane.
wasn't having any of that, bro. He's like, I'm not calling him Black. I'm calling him Mike. I'm calling him Mike.
So
yeah, bro. Rip Kobe though.
Rip Kobe.
I was so crazy. That's
like,
ridiculous, bro.
Like when he passed, that was right before, you know, COVID.
Yeah.
I was in my dorm room. My roommate was just scrolling. He was like on COD or something, playing Warzone or some shit, and he was like, "Yo, Kobe didn't die, bro." I just hear him talking like his friends. Like, Kobe didn't pass, bro. Hell, bro, what? And I'm looking on my phone and I'd see a whole bunch of shit. I'm like, bro, no way, bro. Somebody's lying. This is sick, bro. And bro, like it was real. And I was like, I couldn't believe it, bro. That's like insane. Yeah.
And with his daughter too.
With his daughter.
With a whole group of children
people.
and parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that's just horrible. Mm-hmm. Let me get back on track, bro. Let me get back on track because I love basketball as well. I used to be a really big football fan, but I went more towards basketball.
What made you go more towards basketball?
It's just in season longer, you know? So it's just like it's easier to keep up with. And I think it's a little more fun, in my opinion. I think it's more fun to play football.
I like playing football.
Yeah, but more fun to watch basketball.
Yeah.
Nah, but watching football is so exciting,
bro.
though.
And I'm a Chiefs fan, too. For me being from Kansas City,
so,
bro. Like, the last few years, just even what he's...
They've been good for you.
Bro, like, even what he's done to Kansas City. Every time I come back, there's something new being built.
Is this in regard to Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah. In terms of Mahomes, even him bringing, like, Whataburger to Kansas City. Like, I'm like, bro, we have a Whataburger now.
I was in Texas last week, and that was the first time I've ever seen a Whataburger and an In-N-Out burger. So these are only things that I read of.
Right. It's legend. It's myth.
Legend. It's exactly.
So.
But so beyond music, you built Forever Films Forever.
Yes.
What inspired you to start that? And what's the mission behind it? Because I do see, I feel the mission when I'm reading about it.
So I, with me being a filmmaker, one, that's how I keep my lights on. I get gigged to edit a lot for a lot of people or shoot things for people. But for me, I like telling stories, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And I want to be able to do that for people, whether it's as simple as someone's like, someone else starting like their brand, and they're needing like a starter shoot or like a music video, or it was like I shot a wedding before.
Nice. What was that experience like?
That was cool, bro. And they were, in Kansas City we have a high Mexican population, and I shot a Catholic Mexican wedding. It was super, super dope cultural experience. And bro, my camera's taking me places I never thought I'd be. And that's what it's about to me. It's just being able to tell different stories, different places, and using those experiences to essentially, become the best person that I can be, even outside of business. So
a lot of your work is rooted in uplifting marginalized communities. How do you make sure your art stays intentional and impactful?
Bro, like, that's a good question, bro. That's a really good question.
Thank you.
I think for me, it's meeting people where they are. I like to make sure that I'm always accessible to whoever wants to work with me. Before this project, it was through my film, and even just through talking, bro. Like, I like talking to people, hearing more about who people are, and through that, I think that it just makes me more intentional through my art, because I think about these people when I'm making things. Like, I wonder what they're gonna think about the song, and not in a way of like, I wonder if they're gonna think it's bad or good or bad, but more so in a way of, like, I want to say that people like, live through my music, if that makes sense.
Live through your music. What do you feel you could provide with it?
Oh man, like, hopefully eventually something monetary. Hopefully something monetary to where I'm able to give back to my native Kansas City and communities here. But bro, just experience and storytellings. I don't want to. I've been sentimental already, but I had a friend I went to high school with. Rest in peace, Wendy Rios. She was a really big fan of my music, I think about her a lot, like when I'm making my music, and she passed. You know how when you're in school, you go home for like your breaks and stuff. I was supposed to see her during like my winter break. Supposed to hang out with her and her boyfriend. I ended up like having to work or something, and she had to drive back because I think she had moved to Iowa or something. Like after we got out of high school, and on the way back, she passed in a car accident on the way back to Iowa. But that's like the type of stuff that I think about, like in my music. Is just like, man, like because you know, as an artist, we always have those moments where it's like, man, what am I doing this for? You know, or I make some shit like Animal, like where it's just fun, goofy, you know. But all that shit is important because, you know, life is ebbs and flows. It's happy, it's sad, it's joyful, it's meek, and it's all these different emotions. And as long as I'm putting something out into the world, into the universe, it's able to be digested. And after it leaves me, you know, I can have my author's intent, but after it leaves me, you know, someone can take it and live through me through interpreting it in their own way.
Your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
What's Wendy's legacy? What's her testimony?
Man, I think it's strength, it's endurance, and man, it's being kind. I always remember her. You know, I'm not gonna air out a bunch of her business and stuff, but I remember her going through a lot in high school, and she was just always cheerful and happy anytime I talked to her, and always supportive of what, you know, I had going on, regardless of whatever she had going on, and I want to make sure that I continue that in my life here on Earth. So,
yeah, man, gone too soon. That's never a good thing, man.
Right.
But there's plenty to learn from that and to experience with that, and you know, it's sad, but it's powerful. You know, because she does have legacy,
right,
and that impacts you to create your legacy,
right.
And you guys are just feeding off of each other. So I mean, what's next for you? What's your next creative move?
Man,
more music,
fleshing out these visuals for this project,
film work. Okay.
I'm definitely having a release party soon. I just heard back from a venue today, so I'm super
Nice.
excited.
Where's it gonna be?
I want to say, is it called Grit? You ever heard of Grits Bar? Grits Bar. It's by Tips. You ever Tipitina's? It's around the corner from Tipitina's.
Okay, cool. Is it by like F&M's or?
Yeah.
Okay,
right down
cool.
the street.
Okay,
right down the
perfect.
street from
Okay,
F&M's. So you're definitely invited, bro.
Oh, well, I will be there. I will be there.
I'll be performing. I might have some people join me too. I might see what Senju's doing. Shout out to Senju, bro.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I just heard back today.
That's
so I'm
exciting,
super excited
man.
about that.
What day are you thinking?
4th, April 4th.
April 4th.
If I can't do that day, probably the following week. It's gonna be a Friday though, probably Friday night.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what's next for me. The visuals for the project, finally getting this album release party. Because bro, when I tell you all the shit I had to go through to get a venue booked here in this city, bro, like that's my complaint here. New Orleans, make your venues easier to book.
Yep. You know, Gossip just opened up.
They just opened back up.
They just opened back up.
Okay, because that would have been on my
Super
choice.
accessible to book there too.
Yeah, so
Loyal,
that's where I met Senju at. That was where the showcase was at.
No way.
So
yeah, Loyola just tapped into that venue again. They're putting up some money to rent it out to just keep it going. But yeah, it's super accessible to book now. Loyola has their hand in it, so absolutely. Did you have to spend money at the venue to book it?
I'm doing it with it being like a bar. I think they're letting me use it as long as I keep it open to everyone. Like, and I get bar splits.
Okay.
So we'll see. That's still part of the negotiation process, but yeah. I'm just happy I got a fucking plays, bro. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
dude,
saying?
you got great things coming up, man.
So-
Do you have any other music coming out
Of
soon? Anything
course,
you're
bro.
working on?
I'm always working on new shit. I just had a bunch of my friends over the other day. This is this dude named you ever heard of Time Money?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, real cool dude.
You guys are working on music?
Yeah,
together?
we have music together.
Okay. Sure, I've heard of him.
Shit, bro. I'm always doing some stuff. I gotta stay sharp, bro. I think I have an idea of what I want my next project to be, but I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. But I'm always doing something, bro.
Okay.
Always.
Now to wrap this up, I got some rapid fire questions.
Oh, shit.
You can elect to answer them, or we could choose to skip past it.
Or I
But
can
I'm
plead
giving
the
you a
fifth.
choice. You can plead the fifth, exactly. So just let me know if you're ready for some of these questions.
Okay, we'll see.
One song you wish you could hear again for the first time.
Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst by Kendrick Lamar.
Not bad. Best food spot in New Orleans.
Best food spot. Ooh, bruh. I'm gonna have to skip that one. It's too many.
No, come on, top 3.
Top 3?
Yeah.
I like ghetto shit, bro. It's this spot by the airport called Tasties. You ever been over there?
By Kenner?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Kenner.
yeah.
I like there, bro. Like when I was indulging in the the finest herbs, I'd be there. That was like my high
Munchies.
spot.
What's Tasty's? Is that like?
It's like a donut spot, bro.
Oh, okay.
And they got a big menu with a bunch of shit. I used to get like this breakfast po' boy there. I'd go there high as shit. 12 a.m.
Have you been by City Donuts?
I have not been by City's Donuts.
It's kind of the same thing
Kinda
because
same
it's donuts, but they got a humongous menu for no reason, bro. They got burgers, they got fries, and no sponsor, but I'm just telling like it is, bro. They just have a humongous menu, and it's a strange menu too. Like you got omelets on it, you got like BLTs.
Yeah. Tasties is the same exact
Bro,
thing. It's
what?
like where the range? Like where these are completely.
Where are they
different
getting their
meals.
chefs from? Is the question from all over.
Just gathering.
Now, would you rather hit a game-winning 3 or break someone's ankle so bad the crowd goes crazy?
I've done both. Before.
Which has
Man,
felt
I
better
gotta
for you?
choose a game with a 3, bro. My sophomore year, we played our rival at their school. And I'm about to sound like I peaked at high school.
Go ahead. You
I gotta
go peaked.
relive. I
Bro
gotta
actually peaked
I gotta
sophomore year.
I gotta relive this moment.
Yeah, man.
So, we were playing a rival. We didn't beat them in like the last 5 years, bro. We were going back and forth whole fourth quarter. Our team star player, shout out Sadiq Perkins. He was driving left. I was like, oh, it's coming to me because they're gonna crash. He had like 30. Came to me in the corner. Koosh. Crowd go
Everyone crazy,
Yeah,
yo.
everyone's crazy. I ran in the crowd.
Did they lift
Standing
you
on
up?
the table.
Damn, sophomore year though, bro.
So
Is that your shot? Is a corner 3 your shot?
corner 3, yeah, bro.
Okay.
I'm corner specialist, bro.
Kind of like an elbow guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm an elbow guy.
Well, you played football too, huh?
I did play
You
football.
played-
I
yeah.
played football in high
So
school.
you set really good screens and rebound really well.
No, man, I was I didn't play basketball in high school. I played basketball when I was younger, but no, I'm more of like a pickup guy, just like just more
like-
casually. But I always wanted because I wasn't into basketball when I was in high school. I was into football when I was in high school, and I broke my wrist many a times, 2 times. So that put the football career.
I have screws in my ankle.
No,
My left ankle.
damn.
I didn't get crossed. I didn't
You
get
didn't?
crossed.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did.
that
I
would've been
swear
bad.
I did. I swear
Bro,
I
if you
did.
got crossed and you actually broke
I actually
your
broke my
ankle,
shit.
bro.
No, I was chasing after someone on a fast break. I went to chase down,
Yeah.
block them. I pushed too hard off my leg, and when I jumped to block their shot, I was going too fast, and then
Yeah. Damn. No, man, if someone broke my ankle like that, they're getting Swiss cheese, bro.
you gotta die, bro.
you gotta air out the whole place.
You can't make it through this game, bro. I'm gonna limp after you, and you're not gonna make it, bro.
So who's your pick for MVP this season?
MVP this season? Oh, shit. I like SGA.
Yeah, man.
That's probably
SGA is something special.
I mean, I like Jokic too, but people got voters fatigue, bro.
Dude, that is true, but he's averaging a triple-double this season, bro. That is insane.
You can't go wrong with either one, bro.
That's true. That's true. But SGA is just putting up, it was like 20 plus 60-point games in one season. Is that what he got? That was crazy.
He reminds me a lot of Harden, actually. Like in Harden's prime and the Rockets, a lot of drawing a lot of fouls.
Yeah, dude, free throw merchant.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot as many threes, but what I like about him is that he's very good at controlling like his pace with the ball. And I think that's very important. For all, if any young hoopers see this, it's better to be able to go fast, slow, medium, fast than just going fast all the time. You know?
I mean that advice can be applied through any area of life.
Yeah,
bro, you're giving advice for young hoopers, not even young musicians, bro. You're just giving advice to the hoopers.
Young musicians, anybody, bro. Life is ebbs and flows.
Yeah, man. And so you mentioned you were a Kansas City fan. So I got to ask, Mahomes or Brady? Who's the GOAT? No,
the GOAT.
No,
the GOAT. Brady.
Brady's the GOAT, but Mahomes or Brady, you prefer Mahomes?
He's on his way.
Mahomes is on his way. Still young.
He's still young, bro. And the fact that during his time being a starter, they have not reached anything less than an AFC championship. That's
pretty remarkable.
Insane.
Pretty remarkable. They're about to get their three-peat this year. They didn't get blown out by the Eagles.
We're not going to talk about that, bro.
The blowout by the Eagles. What was the score again?
Hey,
what was the score again, Mac?
I don't remember, bro.
I remember. Do you want me to remind you?
I'm good, bro.
Yeah, man. But Brady, he was way past his prime when he beat Mahomes. It was a wonderful sight to see.
Brady, he's a winner, bro. He's a winner.
Straight up a winner. He was an underdog first, but then once he was on top, he just stayed there. Like, he just stayed there. Even switching teams. As long as he had Gronk, bro, he was chilling.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. But what's something you've always wanted to try but haven't yet?
Always wanted to try but haven't yet. I want to skydive, bro.
Skydive. I've been thinking about that too, man. I had just conquered my fear of heights not too long ago, so I think it may be viable. Hey,
bro.
Yeah, bro, we got to run that together then.
Let's do it, bro. I'm down.
Dream vacation spot.
I don't give a fuck where it's at. If it's got a beach, bro, I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Are you staying in NOLA then for how long do you think you're staying here for?
I don't know, bro. It sucks that we don't have a beach here. I feel like we should.
You got to go down in Bama to get. That's the closest you can get.
Orange Beach.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. I like the beach, bro. So
have you been down in Miami?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
My sophomore year of college. I went with my family though. I don't know if that counts.
Of course it counts. That makes it even better, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it depends what kind of Miami experience you're going for.
Right. But I went to the beach. Do you remember when that hotel collapsed?
Yeah, I remember that.
I was down the street.
No way.
Dude,
there's been a lot of collapses in Miami recently. There was a bridge by FIU, which just pancaked people, man. It was like people were walking under it. People were driving through it. Pancaked. I feel so horrible saying it like that, but that's literally what happened.
There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah, because it was just so vivid and gruesome, man. Because like the Shutterstock images were just immediately posted everywhere, and you can just see it was pretty bad. And then there was this apartment complex that collapsed, and like half the building. No, I think the whole building ended up coming down. They had to dig people out from under there for like the next week or two. Horrible thing.
Yeah, bro. But I was there. I was at a hotel like 2 hotels down because it was on the beach. But yeah, bro, that shit is crazy.
Yeah. If you could direct a short film for any artist, who's getting the Mac Infinity treatment?
Sheesh. Shout out to Kendrick, man.
You're a big Kendrick fan?
I'm a big Kendrick fan, man. So I would love to do a short film for Kendrick.
What do you think? What could you provide in your short film? What could make it so different from anything else he's ever done?
Shit.
This is it, man. Kendrick's gonna see this and he's gonna be like, "Damn, he could do all this. This is it. You got to go all out."
Me personally, I can assemble people to do this idea. I I feel like a lot of it, just in general, I feel like we need to have more like cross-medium, like intermedium films. Like,
Okay.
like I think it'd be cool to have like an animation / real life shot film. Like I think that would be cool to do for him, you know. I see people do it like online, you know, they make like little.
Imagine if Kendrick
emojis.
had like a claymation official music video. That'd be so strange.
Very strange, very uncanny.
So very uncanny.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, last question: who has the best producer tag?
Best producer tag. Sheesh. Man, I like Metro. I like Metro.
Metro, bro. Yeah, and he has many different ones
He has
too.
many different ones too. I think that's what I like too.
Metro, final answer.
I'm gonna lock in Metro.
Locked in. Metro has been locked in. Man, this was dope. Man, where can people find you?
Man, thank you so much for filming me, Julio.
Of course, man.
You guys can check me out on all major streaming platforms at Mac Infinity. You can follow me on everything at Mac Infinity.
The Sideways 8.
Mac with a Sideways 8. I got many nicknames, bro. Mac with a Sideways 8. The Handsome Angel. Macintosh, which I used to get viruses off people's computer when I was in high school.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, should I go on, bro? Mac and cheese, macaroni.
You got more?
Bro, yeah, bro. People are funny, bro. But yeah, thank you so much for
My pleasure,
talking
man.
to me, man.
Appreciate you for coming through. Y'all run up his album, support the vision, and as always, we'll catch you next time on the Talk Nola.
Always fleeting and I'm chasing till I realize life's a loop and it's my motherfucking placement is to wait for it to come around. I see it, then I take it. All the nights spent in the trap, bitch. I got to make it. Ain't no option, be a plan too. But yes, I do plan to make a holiday.